This is a problem that DICE could fix, but they won't. Welcome to today's video where we're going to be talking about the leaked weapons list for 2042. For those who weren't already aware, 2042's weapons list got entirely leaked for the All Out Warfare game mode. And that list of weapons only includes a total of 22 guns in the entire game mode. This, when compared against previous Battlefield games, is not looking great. A few standouts from this list are the fact that there's only 2 LMGs, 1 standard semi-automatic pistol, and from the looks of it, 2 shotguns. Now this whole issue has obviously got a whole lot of people really upset. Namely, the community over at Reddit, although admittedly they'll get upset about just about everything. And me, someone who tries to stay on the positive end of things, while I'm not even remotely surprised by the amount of weapons, I can't say that I'm not disappointed. I knew this was gonna happen. I'd talked about it with my friends, I'd talked about it with my brother, and we all agreed that this was going to happen. When the game released, there would be barely any guns. They were clearly trying to hide the list of weapons for as long as they could, and there was good reason for that. They always came out about how many things were in Portal, but when it came to All Out Warfare, it was radio silence. And this is the reason why. Now, I think it's pretty clear how this happened, and very obvious. At the end of the day, most people could see that the reason that there are so little weapons in the game is because they either, number 1, cut them out in order to add them back in live service later, or number 2, just didn't bother putting very many in because they knew they could add more in live service later. What it comes down to at the end of the day is their live service model. They want to keep people playing and being able to say, hey, we added 2 new guns to a gun-starved game is a great way of getting people to play. It's a business model that I can't ever agree with, but when it comes down to it, it makes money, so I understand why they do it. You can understand things without agreeing with them, and I think this is one of those cases. But I know what some of you are asking yourselves, and the question in the title of the video still has yet to be answered. So, how can DICE fix this, and why are they not going to do it? Well, the answer to solving this problem is really simple, and it's just enabling the weapons from Battlefield Portal in the All Out Warfare game mode. As it stands right now, Portal has a lot of guns in it. Far more in total than the list of weapons that you can access in All Out Warfare. And a lot of these guns wouldn't be too far-fetched to have in the All Out Warfare game mode. This game takes place in 2042, not 2142. And so having guns from the current era, from back in BF3 or Bad Company 2, doesn't seem all that out there. Even if it's just someone running around with a vintage classic. I don't think that anyone would bat their eye if they saw an M16A3 on the battlefield. And even if they did, how many people would really be upset that there was a soldier running around in 2042 in All Out Warfare with an M16A3? I don't think there'd be that many people. Not only that, but I think it would be a lot of fun to be able to mess around with the 1942 weapons just for the lulz if you wanted to in 2042's main multiplayer game mode. And I don't think that I'm alone on this. I would wager to say that there's a lot of people that would also like to just screw around with some weapons that probably don't belong in the era. And I know some of you are probably saying at this point, well, that's what Battlefield Portal's for. But the thing is, Battlefield Portal isn't the main mode of this game, or at least it's not supposed to be the focus. And the fact that DICE is basically sitting on a treasure trove of weapons while having barely any in their main game mode just doesn't make any sense. The people that were worried about realism and having the right guns for the era have long since canceled their pre-orders and aren't buying the game anyway. Those people are the kind of people that complained about clones and the specialist system and said, nope, I ain't buying it. So those people that were going to complain about that are gone. We don't need to worry about them anymore. If they're still around, they're just sitting in the background going, this game sucks, 2042's bad, and then logging in every day and playing anyway. So the question becomes, why won't DICE do this? And the real answer for this question is I don't have any clue. For all we know, this could potentially happen. But from what I've seen so far, I kind of doubt it. And that's what makes me pretty disappointed as a whole. DICE seems to be doing their absolute best to separate Battlefield Portal from Hazard Zone and All Out Warfare. The whole logic behind this seems really flawed, especially when you take a look at the fact that Battlefield 2042 programmed in 2 ways to use all of the Portal weapons. For those who may not know, you can set a setting in Portal in order to make it so either the weapons perform like they did in their original games, or they would perform like they would if they were in 2042. So that begs the question, why aren't they just in 2042? I think I'm beating a dead horse here, but how is this not something that anyone considered? It just boggles my mind. I don't understand it. Mind you, as I've already said, the game is not out yet. It comes out in a few days, and we'll see. Maybe they grow some brain cells and make the right call, but I can't say that I'm holding my breath. 2042, from the looks of it, looks like it's going to be a really fun game, even if it only has 22 weapons. And I'll be pretty frustrated, but it's not going to stop me from playing and having a great time. And I'm sure I will have a great time. But all the while, during having that great time, I'm going to have that thought in the back of my head, thinking to myself, man, it would be cool if I could be using an M16 right now. But I can't, and you know what? That's reality. And sometimes we just have to come to respect reality. With that though, I think this video is just about wrapping up. It wasn't exactly very long, but I think it got the point across, and I think you understand where I'm coming from. I'm curious as to know what the general sentiment is though. Would this be a good idea? Would you be upset if they added portal guns? Would you be happy about it? Feel free to let me know in the comments. I know when I'm usually out and about on these public spaces, there are people that I never expect to see saying outrageous things that I think is ridiculous, and then I think about it for a little bit, and then it turns out that it's not quite as ridiculous as I initially thought. So don't be afraid to speak your mind. Anyways, that's all I got for today. So if you enjoyed the video, you liked what I had to say, you can leave a like, subscribe. If you didn't and you like yourself some 22 weapons, then feel free to leave a dislike. And with all that being said, have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you next time.